welcome back. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Betsy and I have a very rare autoimmune disease that is called Wegener's Granulomatosis. It's also known as GPA vasculitis. I was diagnosed 2.5 years ago with severe kidney involvement, minor lung involvement. It has now moved into other organs in my body. I've got issues with my joints, muscles, and bones, one of my eyes, possibly my ears. I've developed blood clots, I've become diabetic. It all comes back to the Wegeners. But that's okay, I'm still here and I'm grateful for that. Hey, welcome back. It's been a minute or, probably pushing 2 months, I guess, probably, since I have done an update video on my journey with Wegeners. And as you can see, I am rocking oxygen. If you checked out my title, you will see it is pulmonary embolisms, diabetes, oh my. So this all ties back to my Wegeners. I'm going to do this in a two-part because it's a lot to talk about. But part one, I'm going to talk about my bilateral pulmonary embolisms. All right, so 3 weeks ago tomorrow, so on April the 14th, I think that's right. It was a Wednesday. I woke up feeling not very well. I was having a hard time breathing, and my asthma had been bothering me, but it was not an asthma kind of breathing issue. I knew something was pretty wrong. That morning, I kind of just dealt with it, and I remember getting up around 11:30ish to go potty, let the dog out, and thinking if I'm not better, I better call the doctor in the morning. By the time I got up from going potty, I could not catch my breath. I was on the couch gasping for air. I knew something was seriously wrong, so I went ahead and called 911. I thought I was having a heart attack, maybe a stroke. I didn't know what was wrong. I just knew something was seriously wrong with me. Did that, called my neighbor, asked her to come over and sit with me and kind of help me with Bella as the ambulance would be coming. Called my daughter, called my husband, got the ball rolling, and the ambulance arrived. They took me out on the stretcher, which was embarrassing, but I had a very low oxygen saturation was about 91, which is low. And so they took me by ambulance to a hospital that I requested, which is called Carl in Champaign, Illinois. It's a very good hospital. Got up there, immediately was put on oxygen, or left on oxygen. A doctor, actually a physician's assistant, came by. I was in the hallway because the ER was full. He looked at me. I told him what was going on, checked out my legs. My right leg and right foot were extremely swollen, which I hadn't even noticed. And he told me, he said, I'm pretty sure you have a pulmonary embolism. We're going to find out for sure. So they sent me back and did a CT scan or CAT scan, I don't know, MRI, something on my chest, and came back, said, you definitely have a bilateral pulmonary embolism. Means I had two of them. Both of them were very large, and one of them was pressing against my heart. They had to do a procedure called a TPA. I'm not even going to try to pronounce what it was called, the actual technical term. What they did was they went through my jugular vein, which that scar or that bruise is almost gone. It was huge and purple. They went through my jugular vein. They took a scope and they ran a tube down and then put a scope down. At that point, I had to lay still for 48 to 72 hours. I could not get out of bed. And I could move from side to side to just weight off of me so I wouldn't get bed sores, but I could not get out of the bed. I didn't ask why at the time because I didn't want to know. They did tell me that there would be a 1% chance that I could have bleeding in the brain, or a 5% or under 5% or under chance that I would bleed from the neck down internally. And I was willing to take that risk because I knew if I didn't, I was a goner. So after that, they took me up to ICU. I spent 2 nights in the ICU. The first night there, the nurse said, you're very fortunate to be alive. I told her this is twice I've beat death, and I told her the story of being Betty Badass, which made her laugh. So as I was in the ICU for about 48 hours, they came in, decided to take that out. When the doctor came in and took it out, I asked him why couldn't I not move. Now I didn't move because they told me not to. He said because the way it was placed into the tubes, or the catheter was going into my lungs, and if I moved just wrong, it would puncture my heart and would kill me immediately. So I'm really glad I didn't know that, because I would have been a nervous wreck every time I shifted my weight or anything. So they took that out, which was not really that horrible. It wasn't even that bad being put in. They don't put you under, they just give you a numbing. I did not have any sort of twilight medication. I just laid still and did what they told me to do. And I couldn't feel it, of course. I felt the numbing, but the Novocaine or lidocaine, whatever they use on me, it doesn't bother me. So I was moved to a regular room on Friday night. So on Saturday morning, they took me off of oxygen. I had been on heparin drip because I not only had the bilateral clots, I also had a clot in a DVT in my upper right thigh. And so they wanted to start me on heparin to prevent any more blood clots, and also the TPA medication would dissolve the bilateral ones and the one in my thigh. Not completely right away, it would take time. It's going to, over the course of some months, go away. But so I was taken off oxygen, I was taken off the heparin, and got up, was going to the bathroom. I was able to get up and down with the aid of a walker, and I had to have a nurse with me because I was a fall risk, especially being on the blood thinners. They needed to watch me because I'm more apt to bleed if I fall and hurt myself. And so I got up a couple times that afternoon. They said, we're going to probably send you home today. I was like, okay. I got up, went to the bathroom because I was on Lasix because I had some fluid built around my heart because of my lung issues. So I was having to go potty quite a bit, which I've taken Lasix before for the same issue because of the prednisone. When I was first diagnosed with Wegener's, I had developed fluid around my heart, and so I knew why Lasix was. But Lasix is not fun when you're basically bedridden and you're relying on other people to get up, because when it hits you, it hits you. And I couldn't do the pee-pee dance because I was laying down, but I was doing the pee-pee squirm. It was not fun. So anyhow, they got me up, I went potty, everything was fine. I got up, they left me in the room by myself to give me some privacy, went to the sink to wash my hands, and I started gasping for air. I could not catch my breath for anything. It was even worse than it was when I first was having issues. I seriously thought I was going to die that moment. That is the absolute worst feeling ever, not being able to breathe. It made an asthma attack feel like a walk in the park. They got me, sat down in the recliner, checked my oxygen. I was at about 74 or 75, which is extremely low and very dangerous. Immediately hooked me back up on oxygen, started me back on the heparin, called the doctor. She said she's not going anywhere. She's going to be here until Monday or Tuesday. So they were getting me up and down, trying to get me moving, of course, with oxygen. And I was still on the heparin, had to do another round of Lasix. And then on Tuesday, they decided I could go home. But meanwhile, the first night I was in the ICU, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, being insulin dependent, which I will talk about in a next video because I don't want to clog this video up with too much because it's going to be fairly long. But anyhow, so we worked it all out, got all my medications, got me situated with oxygen. I will be on oxygen probably 3 months. They brought me an oxygen tank, which I will show you now. That is my lovely oxygen tank. That bad boy goes 24/7 and it is loud. It's not bothering me. I've just kind of tuned it out. It's kind of actually soothing for me because I know I'm breathing. I also have portable tanks, which are right here for me. I have 4 of them. They're supposed to last an hour and a half, but I took one out Saturday. We just went out. I didn't actually get out of the truck other than to go into Walmart to get insulin needles. I was out for about 15 minutes. We were gone for about 3 hours. Never ran out of oxygen, which was good because we took extra tanks in case. And then as well, I have this bad boy back here. Those two small ones came home from the hospital with me. I need to send them back. That bad boy back there will last 14 hours. If for some reason we lose power or the machine over here quits working, I have that until they can get here and get me on oxygen. The top part refills my portable tanks, and the bottom part is what brings me oxygen. I have this long cord, excuse the dog here on the floor, that stretches enough for me to get all through the house. I have even more tubing if the house was larger, so this works out perfectly. I can go to the laundry room, I can go to the kitchen, I can go to the bathroom, I can go to my bedroom, I can go out on the porch. So it's, I can not totally tether to a small location. I can move around. I am on 4 liters an hour. I believe that's what it means. I'm on a 4. When I left the hospital, I was to do 4 if I was up moving, to up to 5, but I'm keeping it at 4 when I'm moving because my oxygen level is not dropping very much and I don't want to oversaturate myself. I do have a pulse ox, generally staying about 97 to 99 when I'm resting. If I get up and move around, it can drop between 91 to 94, but I just make sure I take lots of breaks and I sit down and rest as I need to. I'm getting along. I'm mobile. Did have a walker when I got home just in case because I wasn't sure how my mobility would be, and every day I'm a little bit stronger. I can do a little bit more. I just take a lot more breaks than I was, and that's okay. I have nothing better to do with my time but take my time. So I do go to the doctor tomorrow, which is May the 4th. So May the 4th be with you. And I will see my doctor to schedule appointments for a dietitian, endocrinologist, for the pulmonologist, my new nephrologist, my new rheumatologist. I don't need to see a cardiologist or a gastroenterologist right now. I also am going to have him check my ears because I've been having a lot of ear pain, and I've had fluid behind my ears in the past because of the Wegeners, so I kind of want to get that checked out. I may end up having to see an ENT. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, so that is what's been going on with me as far as my health goes. Now, why did I get these bilateral pulmonary embolisms? Well, they don't know for sure. They think it was likely because of my Wegener's. Wegener's is a form of vasculitis. Vasculitis means your vascular system. So it affects my veins and my organs. And so they think that's probably what caused it. It seems to me, from what I've been researching and talking to fellow Weggies, it is not uncommon to get blood clots. I came home on 2 different insulins, and I also came home on Xarelto. I'm taking 15 milligrams of Xarelto twice a day. It's a strong blood thinner. A week from today, I will drop down to 20 milligrams once a day. And so, yeah, that is what's been going on. I also took a car ride to Iowa, about 3 weeks prior to that. They think it could be, but he said it was such a short trip. It was only 5 hours one way. We stayed the night, 2 nights, so we weren't in the car or the truck a great long time. We did get out about halfway through, walk around a little bit. So I'm just going to have to be very careful on future road trips and get out about every 2 hours and walk for about 15 to 20 minutes, which was going to add a lot of time to our trips, but hey, it's a small price to pay to be able to still travel. I won't be doing any of that until I am off the oxygen. Here is a funny little story as well. When you are on oxygen, your nose dries up really bad. My nose is so dry and so irritated right now from being dry, or from the oxygen, I guess, blowing up in it. So anyhow, I've got saline spray that I'm using about every couple hours, and then I was reading to see what I could do to help with the dryness. It says you cannot use a petroleum-based product like Vaseline, things like that. But KY jelly. Well, I'm not leaving the house other than I did the other day, but first about the first week and a half, I didn't leave the house at all. So my daughter, thankfully, was willing to go get groceries. Well, I scheduled a grocery pickup, but we couldn't get a time that worked for her. So I just sent her a list. You know your daughter loves you when you ask her to go buy you some KY jelly. And so every time I look at the KY jelly in my little stash of medications, in there I keep my Tylenol, I keep my glucose tablets, which actually are not in there right now. They're in my bedroom because I wasn't sure last night if I need them. My sleeping medication, my melatonin, my trazodone, my dry mouth spray because my mouth is really dry, and also the KY jelly. Anyhow, so I have rambled on for probably close to 15 minutes talking about this. I just wanted to let you know what's going on with my health. I will do a part 2. I'll probably upload it tomorrow, so the 4th, and I will talk about my diabetes and what's going on with that and why I became diabetic, which has something to do with being on Wegener's, or having Wegener's and being on prednisone. So I think that's about it for now. I am okay. I'm plugging along. You know, I'm rocking the mask. I'm not wearing any makeup right now because I don't want to get makeup on the tubing, but that's okay. I'm still getting dressed every day, taking a shower by myself, doing a little bit of something to my hair, and enjoying life. I was giving a second chance again, so I am for sure going to treat this life the best I can and be grateful every day for what I have. And sorry I talk so fast. I realized at the end that I've been chattering fast, but I wanted to make sure I got all of this in there and not run this video so long. All right, I think that's about it for now. I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget, not every day is good, but there is always something good in every day, and I'll see you next time.